picking up the bike from Darren's garage. It purrs like a kitten. And the stereo works and the tape deck works, and there was actually a tape in there from the previous owner. Yep, press that button. Quiet Riot. Okay, now turn it down. Copyright. Alright, we'll see you when we get home. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'll try not to drop it before I get off the property.
Yeah, please.
So here we go, the first official ride of the $500 Goldwing. Let's try not to drop it on his property. Okay. So Darren says that you got to treat this like a Honda Civic, because it's essentially a Honda Civic motor. And he says if you do that, it will last forever. As you can see from the 234,656 kilometers. Wow, is it ever smooth. It's quite windy out today, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I'll have to read the manual now. Unfortunately, I left the manual with the bike, so I couldn't look up how everything works. Oh, nice brake feel. And I have to also remind myself, this is only a 5-speed. Pretty cool. My buddy Heath is driving my Tiguan back to the house for me, just in case I have any issues. This is incredibly smooth. Purrs like a kitten. Okay, we'll see you as we keep riding here. Okay, so here we are coming back from Barrhead, Alberta, cruising along at 105 to 110 in 5th gear, because of course this is a 5-speed where the 5th gear is overdrive. Purring along at 3,000 RPM. I had to stop and put gas in because I have no idea what kind of mileage this bike will get. I'm going to assume 25 to 30 miles per gallon, given that it's 30 years old, but maybe it will surprise me. It's very well balanced for a big bike, and you know, I've had a couple of 900 plus pound bikes, and this does feel like it carries its weight very low. Couple things we still got to do on the bike that I have to do, that I could do myself, is I think I'm going to have to change the bulbs in the dash, because I don't think they were on, or maybe I couldn't tell because we were in the sunlight. The cruise control does not work, so I will have to figure that out. The stereo works, all 4 speakers, and the previous owner, as I said, left me a tape of Quiet Riot to listen to. All of the other electrics work, the reverse gear works, the air compressor with the air ride suspension. Although it is set for kilos per centimeter squared, whatever the hell that is. So I'll have to read the manual to see how to switch it to PSI. I tell you, you get driving on this thing and you don't even notice how fast you're going. This is the short windshield. I do have another windshield that came with it that is taller. But I do like to look over my windshields, and this is providing me with a very clean pocket of air and no wind buffeting. The mirrors are huge, absolutely huge, and the visibility is great. I did put on my little cramp buster and my little throttle lock to give my wrist a little break as we're on our way home. Had those on my V-Strom, which did not have cruise control. Seating position is very comfortable. I think I might just move the backrest back a teeny bit. Bar position is good. Mid-foot pegs are quite comfortable, and it's also got highway pegs. For the first time riding this $500 Goldwing, it's an absolutely beautiful ride. I'm very happy with the purchase. Very happy with what I had to put into it to get it running. I look forward to doubling Lisa on this and doing some rides, because that's what it's for. At this point, I would say I still prefer my Yamaha Super Tenere, just because it's a little more sporty, it's got more power, all that kind of good stuff. But this is a beautiful bike, beautiful ride. I guess I'll get the trailer done now, and then I can try pulling it with the trailer. Okay, so the funniest thing just happened. I didn't have a time to put the camera on before, but I was just driving along and I was adjusting this throttle lock and the bike died. It just stopped. I couldn't see what happened. All the power died to it. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like 45 minutes away from Barhead and I just picked the bike up. What the fuck is wrong with it? And we looked, we turned the power on and off, we played with it for a bit, couldn't get it to turn on, and then Heath, my big brain friend, realized that when I was fiddling with this throttle lock, I hit the engine stop and turned it to off. Jesus, what a maroon thing to do. Well, thank God that's all it was, and we're back on the road. We've gone a whole 43 kilometers before Daryl tried to kill himself. And of course, look at the big shoulder I have to pull over on. Okay, lots to learn on this bike. Anyways, we'll see you as we keep going down the road. So the bike has successfully made it through its maiden voyage. The first ride on the $500 motorcycle. Got us all the way back to Edmonton from Barhead, no problem. Runs like a champ. Unbelievable how smooth it is after 30 years at 234,000 kilometers. Let's turn everything around and just show you what she looks like. So now that the bike is running, we're going to try starting the bike with a coin balancing on the cylinder head. There we go, starting the bike, balancing the coin on the cylinder head, smooth as silk. Pretty good for a 30-year-old bike with almost 250,000 kilometers. Looks really good. As I said, performs great. Unfortunately, as I was saying, the The cruise control turns on but does not engage. So I'll have to figure out why that is, but that's not a immediate thing to figure out. I'm going to start riding this baby and enjoying it. Looks great for 30 years old and 234,750 kilometers now. Now I just have to wash all the bugs off and then put her in her place for the summer. As you can see, there's the trailer. I guess I can now take the trailer, get a couple tires for it, and then try pulling it with the bike once I get used to the bike. So I just realized that there's a couple of things that I forgot to mention, again, because I was so excited to get the bike. I told you about the first ride impressions. I told you how the ride went getting back from the garage, but I forgot to mention all the work that we had done, or that I had done between myself and Darren's garage. So wrote it all down on a piece of paper so I wouldn't forget anything. In case you want to know, this is in no particular order. I'll list all the work that I did and then all the work that Darren did. So for myself, besides obviously getting the bikes, getting it home with the trailer, I changed the oil and filter twice. We emptied the gas tank, made sure it was good, there was no corrosion or anything in it. Put new gas in, 94 octane from Shell. I changed the air filter, the fuel filter with Heath's help. Tried to do the spark plugs, but was unable to get them to loosen, so left that for Darren. Cosmetic cleaning, obviously, I think I spent about 75 hours cleaning the bike, getting tar off, polishing panels, doing the wheels, the undercarriage, the bags, the trunk, putting on new cables for the trunk and the side cases. Cleaning the dash, the cubbies, the bars, replaced the front brake covers, those shiny pie plates, if you like. We put a new battery in. I have a new right pocket door. I just have to put it on. I installed the super brace. Now, I had never ridden it beforehand, so I don't know if it's made a big difference. But driving down the highway at 100 kilometers an hour, you could take your hands off the bars, track straight and true, no wobble of any kind. I reconditioned all the leather, both on the saddle and the passenger backrest. Did the pockets and the leather cover for the pockets at the front, and replaced emblems as they needed to be done. For parts that I purchased, I ended up buying new spark plugs, the carb rebuild kit, the timing belts, the coolant, the brake fluid, brake pads. The rotors were fine, so we didn't have to do anything with them. I had to buy new side marker lights, one for each side. I bought a rear brake master cylinder rebuild kit, which I didn't end up needing. He was able to get it to work without, so I think I'm going to hang on to it. It was only $60, just in case I need it in the future. What else? New tires, Dunlop Elite 4s. That's where the majority of the price came. They were like $430 for both. We bought shaft drive oil, the differential oil, wheel bearings and seals. Along with the timing belts, there was also gaskets that had to go with those. Yeah, so for parts, we were about $2,200 for parts. Now, for the services that Darren provided, he did the spark plug change, he rebuilt the carbs and balanced them, he changed the timing belts, he flushed the coolant, he flushed all the brake fluids, he changed the brake pads, checked the rotors, he installed the side marker lights, he checked the compressor with the air ride suspension, which works perfectly. He checked the front and rear master brake cylinders, made sure we had brakes on the bike. He checked all the electrics, checked the alternator, made sure everything was charging and doing what it was supposed to do. Did a compression test on the motor. He checked the clutch, the throttle. I took the tires to Riverside Suzzuki Yamaha to have them installed on the rims, but then he took the rims off and put them back onto the bike.
He changed the shaft drive oil, checked the shifter. He placed the new wheel bearings in the wheels before he mounted them. He checked the reverse gear to make sure it was running, and then of course went through the whole bike to make sure everything was working tickety-boo. Got a great deal from Darren. He did incredible work. I'm very happy. I will use him in the future on this bike if he's willing to work on it some more. Spent about $2,700 at Darren's garage. So the grand total is, including buying the bike for $500, including the money I spent at Darren's garage and the parts, I'm into the bike for about $4,800, which I think is a really good price to have a touring bike for my wife and I that's easily going to last another 200,000 K. Essentially everything is new on this, other than the pistons, the rings, and the cylinders, and the transmission, but those go forever if you look after them. So yeah, it was a great build. As I said, there's still a few things to do, but I'm looking forward to riding on my $500 Goldwing. Anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for watching our journey as we restored this bike. Still a few things to do, as I said, but nothing major. And yeah, I look forward to doing some trips. So yeah, next weekend we will do a ride on this bike and let you know, or continue to let you know, how she is. See you then.